These are the Daves I know. 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 Hey, I'm your host, Matt Morgan, and thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Are You Listening? How is everyone? Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate, and everything else. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in. So today, I guess what we're talking about is school and teenagers and all that fun stuff that comes up with growing up and the importance of. So I don't know, we're talking school, growing up, and the importance of. I guess that's our topic for today. I want to address this because, well, the kids are going back to school. And with the kids going back to school, you know, I think we should talk about this and some of the elements that go along with it. So that's what I want to talk about today. But before I get into that, please check out themadmorgan.com. And we have more information going on there, more shows, everything that you need to know about us. Please check it out, themadmorgan.com. And if you're feeling saucy and if you're feeling generous, and as the slang will say, if you are going to be the GOAT, which, believe it or not, for those that do not know, GOAT means greatest of all time. Yes, if you want to be that, please check out themadmorgan.com/support. And you know what? Anything you can pass my way definitely helps us keep on the air and up and running and get the bills paid and everything else. So let's get into today's show. Now, school has different meanings for everybody else. For everybody. Everybody's different. Like, some love it, some hate it, some whatever. And growing up can suck, and I understand that. Grade school, we don't know any better. It is what it is. We have to go. When we get in high school, we get a little independence, get a little rebellion, and it's either we do it or we don't. Now, not everybody's created equal. Not everybody has the same strengths, and that's understandably. But let me tell you one thing about school and the importance of. And of course, also a few things I want everybody to keep in mind. Going to school is a privilege. Now, I'm going to say it again. Going to school is a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege. Okay? I want you to understand that. Let's just start, and I want the kids to know this, whether or not you're just starting out in life or whether or not you're into your teens. Going to school is a privilege. Now, with that being said, I want you all to know and remember this. First of all, knowledge is power, so keep that in mind. But students should always listen to the teacher, the professor, the master. Whoever is educating you, you should consider yourself fortunate that that individual is there, taking their time to mold your mind and educate you. And the utmost respect should be given to those information givers, those teachers, those educators, those guiders. If they are a good teacher, then yes. If they take it what they do seriously, yes. If they are there to educate you and mold you and tolerate you for that matter, you should give them the utmost respect. Do not threaten them. Do not be aggressive towards them. Do not be disrespectful towards them. If they are to you, and I understand that, that's fine, but the best of the educators, the best of the teachers will treat you with equal respect because they are that refined and they are at that level. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to education, when it comes to teaching, not many people want to do it anymore. Not many people want to teach. Not many people want to be professors and teachers and educators. And for a lot of reasons. One, let's just I'll put it to you this way. It is very much a giving type of profession. It's very much a self-sacrificing in some regards. Because for what they do, for the average class size of 20 to 30 people, they don't get paid enough. They don't. They are so underpaid and unappreciated. And then you have some smart mouth punk student that wants to give them a hard time. I don't blame a lot of them for quitting the field. I don't blame a lot of them for getting frustrated. I don't blame a lot of them from saying, I don't need this crap. Screw this. I'm out of here. Really, I don't blame them. Now, I've been fortunate enough to grow up as a Gen X, and we still had real teachers. We still had teachers that took pride in what they did, and they were serious. And they basically knew the fact they represented something. They actually were role models. And that was noble of them. You'd see them and they had that certain, that certain something about them that you revered, you respected, you looked up to them, you viewed them as authority. You didn't give them a hard time. You didn't do that kind of stuff. Now, when I hear these punk ass students, girls and boys, giving teachers and educators and educational institutions a hard time, I'm sorry, you got to earn your grade. grades, okay? As I said again, you're privileged to be there. It's not a right for you to be there. You are privileged to be there. So respect that, honor that, because the education you're going to get is going to give you better opportunities, is going to give you opportunities to keep you out of bad jobs, out of harm's way, out of a crime life, out of a demoralized life. If you have an education, savor it. If you can have it, if it's offered to you, savor it, worship it, do the work, give yourself opportunities, because that's how the world works. It always has been for the longest time. The more educated one wants the most opportunities. For you to squander that opportunity, you're foolish. Now, as I mentioned, when you're really young, anywhere between 2 to 12, okay, it's a given. But then when you get 12, you start getting curious and you start questioning things and you start challenging the world and you start being rebellious and everything else. And then you go from junior high school to high school. And it is what it is. It's just one of those things of life that you have to go through, and you just have to accept it and move forward. And that's basically it. But the reality is that you should always take the opportunity even beyond the minimum when it comes to education. Yes, grade school, high school. And then if you're fortunate enough, you go to college, university, and get further education, which gives you all the tools and resources to get an opportunity moving forward, a good job. Great, take it. Okay, now, other than the educational part, there comes the whole social part, which sucks. It sucks, but it doesn't suck. Don't get derailed, students. Let me tell you, if you're still going to school, don't get derailed. The social's fun and all, getting into relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, blah, 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 boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, whatever floats your boat, fine. But don't distract yourself from why you're in school. And this important part of your life, when you're in school, you should seek the opportunity to settle down and focus. There'll be plenty of time to screw around literally later on after you finish school. You'll have plenty of time for humping and bumping. That's fine. Save it until then. Give yourself the opportunities now, because what do you think? Do you think any friendships you have, grade school going into high school, are going to survive much beyond 20? I will tell you from personal experience and experiences of many other people, it's not the case. And even 40 years down the road, you can still lose those friendships. Again, I know for a fact. These people I knew in grade school, I've kept in touch with some. Lost them over the years, made new friends. So friendships and relationships come and go. Once you've done the formative part of your life, then you can move on to that drama, that BS. But at least you'll have resources to be self-sufficient and independent, to be able to stand on your own. And that's basically the most important thing. So I'm going to implore you to do this. Take your education serious. Study, do homework, respect the institution, respect the teachers, respect the principals, respect the deans, respect whatever authoritative figures that makes up these educational institutions. Because if you respect them and you put the hard work in, that they will give you opportunities in and itself from their own word of mouth to saying, hey, Sally's awesome, John's great, blah, 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 because they see your commitment to your education and also the way you are around others and the way you treat others. Gives yourselves more opportunity. Now, again, when I mentioned about friendships and relationships, yeah, it'll happen. It'll come and go and it sucks. But do you really want that emotional roller coaster? It's not worth the BS. It really isn't. I know the hormones go and whatever the case may be and the curiosity is there. But I'll tell you, if I could do it all again, I wouldn't even bothered. I would have floated through school and worked my butt straight through it, straight to 20. And then at that point, once I had that solid foundation, no relationships, no drama, no, my friends of the world, because that's a cliche. That's a cliche thing teenagers go through. Oh, my friends are more important than everybody, including my family and my parents and everything else. No. The people that are there for the end of the day are your parents and your family, okay? If you have that, savor it, worship it. Your friends are pointless. Your relationships in high school and grade school are pointless. They're fun, I agree, but they're pointless. People will leave your life. People will stab you in the back. Dog eat dog, unfortunately, as it is. I've had people that I've called best friends from grade school through to high school and everything else. And where are they now? Nowhere. They've either, drifted away, double-crossed. I mean, not everybody goes through this. I admit there are some relationships that can stay. There are some friendships that can stay. But I implore you as students to not let that stray your focus. You think your relationship is so important, whether it's friendship or whether it's romantic. It's not that important. Because at the end of the day, how is that going to benefit you in the real world when you're trying to build something with your life, when you're trying to get a profession or a career going? Your employers are not going to care about, oh, okay, so Chris is dating John and Mike is dating Jennifer and blah. They don't care about that stuff. It's not going to matter, but your grades are going to matter. The reviews given to you by your teachers and professors and everything else, those are going to matter. These are things that are going to matter. I mean, trust me, your relationships are going to matter very little other than, of course, your professional relationships. So keep that in perspective. And hopefully you grow up beyond grade school and high school and put away the childish ideas, childish concepts that you thought were so cool in high school. You forget those going into college, university. You leave those behind, like loud cars and your dress and your fashion and being hip and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All this stuff you will find hopefully sooner versus later as you get into your 20s. That's all superficial BS that frankly means nothing in the real world. Stuff that you held so dear, were so wrapped up with as a teenager, you'll find out is pointless in the real world. It's pointless. This worrying about weight, this worrying about makeup, this worrying about the fashion trends, this worrying about the way you dress, this worrying about this and that and everything else. All this stuff, believe it or not, is superficial and trivial and pointless. Yeah, I'm saying that to all the teenagers out there, whether or not you're being stupid and you're putting on layers of makeup and you look like a clown, whether or not you're some guy who thinks he's so cool, he's got sagging pants going on, which frankly, if you get that beyond your 20s, wow, people are going to laugh at you on a professional level because real men don't let their pants drag like they, have load in their diaper. So eventually you hopefully mature, and realize this. And those who actually mature a lot quicker and realize the education is important and embrace it at a young age are usually the ones that basically could write their own ticket as things move forward. So for some, in the last week or two, they've just started back at school. And no matter where you are in your educational career, I will strongly suggest you try to make an outline of some possible careers that you want to get into, okay? Get an outline of some possible careers that you want to do, stuff that you think you'd like to do. Do not focus on the money. And I'll tell you why. If you focus on the money, you're going to be very miserable. But if you get into something you want to do and you enjoy and you like, guess what? If you like what you do, you'll never work a day in your life and the money will come because you'll be good at what you do. And people will recognize that and they will pay you for the fact of your level of professionalism and the level of quality that you put into your work because you enjoy what you do. Focusing, like looking at a chart. See, you looked at a chart and said, okay, this pays this, this pays this, pays. Okay, this is what I'm going to go towards. What if you absolutely hate what you do, but you love the paycheck? It'd be like so tedious to have to get up in the morning. It's like, okay, so somebody's going to pay me, let me give you a really silly example. Somebody's going to pay me $10,000 a day to eat worms. I hate the job, but I like the paycheck. Okay. Like, would you do it? Would you do it? That's the question. Would you do it? I don't think you would. I really don't think you would. But that's an extreme example, but I just want to tell you that. But if you enjoy what you do, you never have to work a day in your life because you actually enjoy it and you do it willingly and you put the effort into it willingly. So as a student, wherever you are, try to think of at least 3 different lines of work that you would want to get into that interest you, that you like. Let's go with 3. Okay. Take those 3 and try to find some common points between the 3 of them. And until you make some definite decisions, which is not until later on in your educational process, high school and whatnot, work towards the common points of those 3 careers, okay? And try to be the best you can be, the best grades you possibly can be in those common points, whether it be math, sciences, whatever the case may be, but work towards getting top grades in those common points. And then later on, you could change your direction in which you want to go into. But I would suggest you pick something that you would enjoy and you find an interest in versus just paying doing the paycheck. Honestly, money can be made easily enough. Money comes and goes. You can make it. You just work hard. That's fine. But if you're miserable with what you're doing, there's really no point. Really, there isn't. So as you get into high school, about 16, 17 years old, hopefully you have a better direction than when you were 10 years old, and you can further your actual educational pursuits towards the career that you want to get into. So hopefully by the time you're 20, you've at least put a year or two into college or university and are definitely on your way to the end point that you want to be at. But again, relationships outside of education are going to come and go. Deal with it. I'm going to try to use an expression that a good friend of mine said once upon a time: what's it going to matter in 5 years? And in all honesty, that's probably the best advice you can think of when it comes to your early years going into your early to mid 20s. What's it going to matter in 5 years? Whether it be a friendship, relationship, whatever the case be, what's it going to matter in 5 years? If somebody insults you, what's it going to matter in 5 years? Somebody hurts you, what's it going to matter in 5 years? This is the thing that you always have to consider. But you can also use that same phrase when it comes to your education towards your career. What's it going to matter in 5 years? And if you use that same philosophy, it might just help you out. So for instance, your crappy grade you got in math in grade 8, what's it going to matter in 5 years? Yeah, it probably could matter in 5 years. So that's what you got to think to yourself. What's it going to matter in 5 years? Until you get to your early to mid 20s, a lot will matter in 5 years. Because if you slack now, you're wasting that time of that 5 years, and you have to work extra long in order to make up for it. Do the work now, get ahead of the game, write your own ticket, call your own shots, you're laughing. But remember, education is a privilege, okay? Respect the institution, respect the teachers, encourage others, encourage yourself, and encourage and remind people that education is a privilege. And also, don't get wrapped up in all this fashion trends and what you see in movies and TVs. Again, that's fake. It's made up. It doesn't happen. I think my daughter was the most disappointed when she realized that high school was nothing like she saw on TV out of all her shows. She's like, "I'm so disappointed, Dad." She says to me, "It's nothing like I saw on my shows." I'm like, "Of course not. It's not real world. That is TV. That is sensationalism. That's not the real world. That's not the way it works. I'm sorry. It sucks, I know, but it's just the way the world is. You just have to learn to deal with it. That's just the way it is." So, lo and behold, as time moves on, yeah, it's not like it is on TV. It's hard work, it's determination, it's surviving it. But remember, at the end of the day, it's a privilege. Okay. So I hope I gave a few of you some points to think about when it came to all this, especially, as I mentioned, all the students that are returning to school. Education is important. I know I've got myself short in a few different areas and had to go back to school later on in life. The amount of wasted time I got from messing around and not taking it seriously when I was young, I had to pay for later on in life in many different levels versus just getting it done and being done with it and having it behind me. Instead, I had to do a lot of hard work to get to where I am today. I survived it, but as I said, the most important advice I can give you is stay in school, respect the institution, savor the opportunity, recognize it's a privilege, and move forward with that. Respect the teachers, respect the institution, respect the professors, respect everybody that's there to give you an education. They don't get bonuses or commission or anything else. They're doing it because they're giving of themselves to educate you, okay? And you're making their lives a little more difficult and unbearable. And if they quit, you are robbing yourself and you are robbing future generations from the knowledge and level of excellence that particular teacher that you managed to get so frustrated that they've had enough that they walked away. You've robbed the world from that. And you are a really crappy person if that's what you've done. You really are. So that being said, just take heed to what I've said in today's episode. I feel it's important. I think it's stuff that people really need to recognize and people need to realize, get the education, but be part of everything that it is and make a plan. So, and again, what you think is cool today won't matter in your 20s and beyond. I'm sorry, it just won't. Might be cool to you, but that's only your perspective. All right. That's it. Hey, you know what? I'm your host, Madberg. I want to thank you for tuning in for today's episode. And, I kind of like this off the cuff show of Are You Listening? I really do, only because it allows me to get some important information out there, and I'm hoping it helps a few of you. I really do. And if it helps you, any of my knowledge and experience and stuff that I share with you, I appreciate that. In return, if you would see it within yourself to help me out as well, please check out themadmorgan.com. Yes, themadmorgan.com/support. Please, if you can help me out with a few bucks, that'd be awesome. I appreciate that. Keeps me going, keeps me afloat, keeps me doing what I got to do, and go from there. I mean, what was it? I think it was Meatloaf said it the best. I ain't in it for the money. I ain't in it for the wealth. I'm not in it for anything else. But I'm definitely in it until the end. And that's basically it. I mean, I think I missed a few things, but Meatloaf was just amazing, amazing person. He's a legend that will be missed. So enough with that. I'm here and let's do this together. So other than that, hey, I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, yes, before, and I forgot to say this at the beginning, how is your integrity? Please keep your integrity in check. And for those of you that don't know, integrity is doing the right thing when no one else is watching. All right. So check me out next episode. Check out our website, themadmorgan.com. I will see you next episode. I'm your host, Mad Morgan. Take care until then. Bye for now.